this is all coming in through here. Usually we give it a minute so people have time to click in, get them notifs, blah 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 blah.
Okay.
This will be turned into an actual video after the fact, so you know, this is welcome to cutout land, where none of this will be here. I think. I
Nice.
don't know. Depends what.
So we're to
feature
be on the
this.
other end of this.
Yeah, you are now right. This, I guess, we can go straight into introductions or whatever. While, actually, no, it's too early. It's too early.
Too early.
Genuinely, this is a thing where like I click the go live button. Unless this is a thing where I know it's gonna be directly like this is the main video, then I'm like, I do the intro instantly, because that's gonna
It's
be.
easier to get.
It's
to it.
easier for a VOD if the intro is right off the bat, instead of having to skip ahead. Sometimes, like, some things perform better live, some things perform better not live. You know, kind of depends. Regardless,
Yeah.
usually I have it open on my phone here as well. I think at the 2-minute mark here, we'll do a little intro thingy. So, yeah.
Hold on, my
How's your-
internet's kind of cutting out. I'm gonna reset it real quick.
Yeah, go for it. This is like the perfect time to do that.
Yeah.
Is the stream black here? No. I shouldn't be streaming onto YouTube. If I'm streaming to YouTube, I did something wrong. I hope I'm not. Not that I don't love you YouTube guys, but also, you know, this is supposed to be Twitch only. That way I don't have, like, lag. I hope. Okay. Well, meanwhile, we're waiting here. Okay, yeah. 2 minutes in. Hello, everyone. We are ranking all the Phoenix Wright cases. I have with me, or he's gonna be with me, my friend here, Rulin. His name's Rulin. He's been one of the mods here for all of these Phoenix Wright streams, and he has been following us closely throughout it all. How you doing, Rulin? This is the part where I skip. Oh, hey, Rulin. How you doing? I'm in intro land. This is the point where you say, like, hello or something. I don't know. Well, dang it. We're off to a great start here. Meanwhile, either way, yeah.
I think we're good.
I think we're good now? Okay, yes. Well, anyways.
Every time I would think it would cut out, but sorry, continue.
I have the perfect point where you can skip. Either way, we're here with my friend here, Rulin. He has been watching me play through all of the Phoenix Wright Trilogy games. He's the reason why I'm here, playing Phoenix Wright. What do you have to say for yourself, Rulin?
I'm the Ace Attorney expert. That's all I really have to say. You probably know me as Really Guy, but
yeah,
Rulin is fine. Yeah.
Alright, well, that alone tells you enough. We have resident Apollo Justice Man here as well. He's totally
the one and only Apollo Justice Man.
He's gonna be trying, whenever I get around to playing Apollo Justice, he's gonna try to voice act that for whoever knows how long that's gonna last.
We'll see.
Yeah,
but
either way, I think we should start off by going over the tiers that we have with us today. Starting off with all these guys down here in the not ranking these tier. These guys are for the non-trilogy games. This includes all the stuff from Apollo Justice. I think
AAI is the investigations. DGS is Great Ace Attorney.
I see.
The Japanese name they're basing it off of. And then you have all the
more Apollo
the second
stuff
trilogy
here.
games.
Of course. Well, sounds right. Okay, so I think we're going to be going one case at a time, and the kind of way things are going to be working here is that as we go through these games, well, what's it called? I'm going to be giving a quick pop quiz about what happened in the cases, all that, before I do my ranking. As well, I think for priority's sake, if things are on the same tier, things that are closer to the left are higher up in the tier, and things further to the right are below. That's the rules I'll operate by, but there are also no rules, so things are subject to change as we go. I think am I allowed
Oh, I'll give you the name of the case, just so you remember it.
Alright,
And then I'll quiz you on the victim, defendant, and I think that's probably the guilty party.
Got it. If that's the case,
guilty.
then let me have the thing open here. Oh, I closed out of the wiki thing here. Let me reopen it. Yes. By the way, if there are ever any Oh, okay.
Black.
Yes, there we go. It goes like black for a sec, but usually, because I'm not multi-streaming, that should not be common, and it'll be cut out. But, alright. Starting off with the first case, 1-1, the case that started everything, the first turnabout. So...
Yep. So, this is the very first one. Do you remember... Oh, do you remember who the victim is? This is probably...
You know, I'm gonna have to use my investigation skills here. I believe it would be none other than the Mia Fey. Am I right about this one?
That is not the first case, no. You're forgetting the first... There was a
oh
case
my god, that's
that
the that's the second case.
Yep.
Wait, it's okay. I know it's Larry's girlfriend, right?
Yeah. Okay, yes, I'll count that because that's you're not gonna remember her name. Her name is Cindy Stone. I didn't remember that until I read that.
Yeah, Cindy Stone, Larry's GF.
Yes.
I can actually.
And do you remember in that case the defendant?
The defendant, I think I already said it. It's Larry.
Yeah. Classic. So,
Good old classic
Larry Butts is on. This is the first case where Larry Butts is on the defense stand with Cindy Stone, his girlfriend, being killed. Do you remember who was the guilty party? His name was a pun. No.
It was Winston Payne, right?
Was the killer?
The killer, I thought? Wait.
No, Winston Payne was the prosecutor. He's the guy with the glasses.
Oh,
The man cannot kill someone if he tried.
You're right. His neck, his entire body would shrivel up if he attempted to. I do not remember. I know it's the guy with the little... I remember he used to rub his hands a lot. Again. Oh, okay. He would rub his hands a lot.
Yeah, his name, if you can't remember it, it was... Oh, shoot. It's not saying the guilty party, but it was something saw it.
Really?
Yeah, first, about killer. Yes, Frank saw it. That was what it was.
Frank saw it. I have no memory of that, though. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's the first case, so
it's a tutorial land case where Phoenix is still figuring things out. You know.
Yeah, I mean, considering how basic it is, I feel like you're hovering over it already. The lukewarm tier feels pretty okay for that.
I was actually gonna say, I think that's Blue Badger approved. And let me give me my argument for this. Listen, I think that it is very good at giving you the basics of Phoenix Wright, but I think this will be clearly demonstrated in some other cases. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I think that's like a very important thing. It's short, and as such, it's hard. I think lukewarm is mediocrity. I think this does a good job of introducing you to none other than Larry Butts. You know, Mia is still there as well. So, she can help you out. I think it's the only bit of Mia development you get in the first game. You learn a bit about how Phoenix is, his buddy, a bit of his childhood stuff. And I think that even I remember what the case was about. Like, the very basic thing of like, there was a time zone with a clock, and it's like, oh man, Larry made a statue for his girlfriend, and it's blah blah blah. Kind of gets you into the vibe of what Phoenix Wright is going to be about. And for the first case in the entire series, I think it's approved. Blue Badger is going to say yes.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I guess it's been a while since I played it myself, but I remember when watching you play it, you were impressed with the pace, I think, or maybe that was more of the second case, but still,
I was surprised it was over, and I was like, yeah, it was short. I went through it fast, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready. And immediately following that up, I'm gonna say as well, this one might shift around as we do more cases, but I like where it's at. Next
Yeah,
up in
now
line, we have Turnabout Sisters for
Yes, and
1-2.
you already said the victim, which was Mia Fey.
Yeah. I
Do
think
you remember who was the accused?
the accused was a certain? I can't remember his. Actually,
Who was the one? Or so who was the defendant? Who was accused?
Right,
of
who
murder
was
at the
accused of the
beginning?
murder?
Who was
It
Phoenix
was
defending?
it was Maya.
Yes, Mia Fey. For a
I
bonus
thought
point, it does switch near the end of the game, or near the end of the case. Who he's defending? You remember who it switches to?
Switches from Isn't it Phoenix?
It is. Yes, he at the very end of the case, he starts accusing him of murder.
Right. That was the part where it was like, as punishment for Phoenix pushing so hard, they tried to frame the murder on him by having that one lady over there try to accuse him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mia Fey, and then, I mean, we basically said this is a pretty classic case. You remember the name of the killer?
I do not, but I remember he had bling, and he was pretty...
He was blinged out.
Yes.
Yeah, his name was Wright of Blue Corps, which is a classic.
Yeah, and Phoenix gets knocked out in the case.
Yes, which is not the first time that happens.
Yes,
very awesome.
It's not the first time, nor will it be the last. Well, actually, no, it's the first time, and it will not be his last time getting knocked out, we should say. Now, let's see. I would say... If there's... Is this the first time we see Edgeworth?
Yeah, this is, yes.
Hold on. Alright, repeat that sentence.
Yeah, for not just for Edgeworth, but I think that this case, I would personally put it above the first one in Blue Badger approved still.
Yes.
I think it's another really solid one. It's a little bit longer, and it has lots of twists and turns, and I found it really fun.
I'm gonna say, sure. However, this is gonna be the one thing where... I'm not leaving it here because I think it's lukewarm, I just don't want to be holding it. I'm gonna say this. I don't know if this is a bit of a stretch, because I know we're supposed to be rating these cases in a vacuum, but I do have one... I can't even say if it's a criticism or not, necessarily, but... I don't like this case because of the fact that they killed off Mia too early. And you're gonna see me probably make this complaint throughout the game, but I especially... Let me move the little chat there. But I think that the decision to kill Mia that early on seems like a choice that the writers or whoever would later on regret as they continue to bring her back. And at first it's a cool gimmick with Maya, but I almost feel like Mia dying is almost reduced in importance as she continues to appear again and again and again. So I almost think that because of that, it makes me not like this case as much. It's hard for me to be like, oh no, Mia's dead, and then she reappears constantly. But I guess...
I agree. I agree with that criticism of the game. I think, though, I wouldn't hold it on the case itself, because I think... as a case by itself, I think it's still really good, even though it makes that one issue that weakens other parts of the game as a whole. So I would put it, at the very least, into Blue Badger approved. But
I will say that, for now, this is also the first trial to have an investigation. I feel like it's worth noting, first trial with investigation, first time you see Edgeworth, and is this the one with the updated autopsy report?
Yes, that's the... I'm pretty sure, yeah, because Edgeworth does that.
It is. I'm gonna say, Blue Badger approved. Despite having Edgeworth's first appearance, it is not in Kiss Me Edgeworth tier.
No. Edgeworth hasn't earned that yet.
Oh no. I just saw what the case we're ranking next is, and
oh yeah. I think we have very different opinions about that one. Although I think my opinion,
that's healthy.
What I've talked to other people about, I think your opinion is the more common one. I'm not sure. I think this case is pretty divisive, but yes, it is a turnabout samurai.
Turnabout's and I'll have you announce the names of the trials as we continue forward, so we don't have to hop to the second screen. But yes, Turnabout Samurai, featuring this blue samurai, nickel samurai.
Close.
Copper
Nickel samurai is in. I think that's another one, not the one.
No,
different metal.
It is a metal. Steel samurai.
There you go, Steel Samurai.
Yeah. Well.
Do you remember who? I guess. Do you remember the defendant first? Because he shows up more.
The defendant is.
Who is Phoenix defending?
Actually, I'm gonna have to. I don't remember this off the top of my head. Oh,
these are all gonna be tough to remember.
Brad69 says I bear witness to our failures and lack their.
I'm gonna mute TTS here. No, thanks for the Brad TTS redeem, but I need to keep a flow here.
Yeah, no.
I see why streamers don't have that on. But what was it called? Who were we defending in the Steel Sam?
Can you describe him? Yeah, I mean you remember who he was, right?
I probably remember who they. The Steel Samurai introduces a lot of characters that exist.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard to remember because all like the important people, pretty unmemorable.
Yeah, I honestly think this is the point where a lot of the characters that got introduced, I actively kind of don't like. But yeah, I'll say, I cannot remember for the life of me who was the defendant.
It was Will Powers.
Oh right.
Do you remember he was the lion-haired dude?
Yes.
He
well, I was
the Steel Samurai.
I thought of Will Powers, but like, then I just connecting just as quickly as I thought of Will Powers, I forgot about him because he's I don't like anyone in this case, to be quite frank. I think that's like, you know what? I want to hear.
Fair.
I want to hear your case for the game, or not the case for the game. Case
before
for the case.
Before we continue, the victim was Jack. Hold
on,
I think he played. Yeah, the killer in this, or the victim was Jackhammer. He was Will's rival, played Evil Magistrate, I think is what it was called. And the killer was, I don't know, it doesn't show in here because of spoilers. It was Vasquez. D. Vasquez, that's what it was.
Oh my god, you're right. That's another reason I don't like it.
The mafia lady
who shows up out of nowhere and she's like, yes, Phoenix Wright, I will fight you in court. And then gets absolutely slammed, and I don't know what any of that was. Listen. The defendant, cringe. Remember, there was also the little kid. This is our first appearance of fluffy hair girl who has her camera that I can't wait. No, wasn't she a reporter there? Or no, this was Penny.
What was the Penny Nichols? She was just there. She was the she wasn't a reporter. She was there. She
was an assistant.
Yeah, assistant editor or something.
Yes. Also, why is the last one named Kiss Me Edgeworth? Well, because only Kiss Me Edgeworth tier is for the best of the best. But listen,
the ones that make you want to kiss Edgeworth.
I want to say, we cannot forget about what makes me old bag, live execution, line her up.
Okay.
Put her on death row. Put her on death row. I don't care.
I think that's a bit harsh. I think hearing your opinions, I think I was clouded by nostalgia when you were getting into that case. It is not a great case. I will give you that. I don't know if it's live execution worthy. Personally, okay. I think I like Will Powers. I like the twist with like the case and they do this a lot, I suppose. But this was the first one to do like something happened in the past that caused the events of now to happen. And I thought it was pretty cool. They did a lot of things wrong though. Maybe it is just nostalgia blinding me.
I do think that a lot of it, especially, I'm gonna say, I would say there are certain cases that are in live execution, are cases that make me actively not want to play the game. This was one of those cases where just the experience of playing through it, I was like feeling the drag. this is also one of the first times we have cases that last multiple days. And while it's not the longest case, it definitely suffers when you're playing through it.
Yep, I remember actually, I think I am okay with live execution tier now. Because I remember recalling my first playthrough, getting stuck multiple times in the investigation, because it was very unclear what you were supposed to do. And I think that happened to you as well. So, it was one of the many cases where the investigations weren't well designed.
Right, this was one where you go to, I believe it was the room, like, where the actor changed. And it was just really... Wasn't Mia Death a multi-death one as well? Did more people die? No.
No.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Minnie? You're stupid.
No, don't call them stupid. They're all brilliant. Either way, live execution tier. But it's funny, like, immediately following up, like, this is already just the first game. So if we're talking about, like, just looking at the first game, I'll leave this one in 1-3.
Yeah.
We now have one of the most famous Turnabout Goodbyes.
And we all know the defendant for this one. This is a classic.
Of course, none other than Edgeworth himself. Oh. And of course, the prosecutor for the case, Von Karma.
Yep, the Von Karma.
This is the case where you cross-examine a bird.
Yeah, amazing. Best part of the games. Do you remember who the victim was by any chance?
Hold on. Repeat that. Who was the victim?
Do you remember who the victim was?
The victim was none other than...
I'd be surprised if you remembered it. It's one of those where, like, the victim isn't very important.
Connected. Wasn't the victim someone who was related to the DL4 incident?
He was, I think. Let me double check.
Because
I don't actually remember what his...
Correctly, the reason why Edgeworth went to talk to the guy was that he had some information regarding it. Though I might be wrong. The victim is the owner of the bird? No.
Oh.
Wait. No, the owner of the
victim was the owner of the bird was the
old guy.
He was an old dude
who pretended to be forgetting.
Yeah. Shoot, I don't remember.
Oh wait, no, I know why we're getting confused. Wasn't there like two?
Oh.
Wasn't there two cases in one with this one? Wasn't there like?
Yes, it was the
DL4 was for Von Karma, because he was the one who actually shot Edgeworth's dad.
That's right.
And the guy who died on the boat, the guy who actually did that one was the bird owner, right?
Okay, so I'm looking at what I have up here. So there was two cases. So there was a Turnabout Goodbyes. The main case was Miles Edgeworth supposedly killing Robert Hammond. Robert Hammond was the defense attorney for the DL6 incident when Gregory Edgeworth was killed.
I see.
So the idea was that Edgeworth did it because he was on the boat, and also because he acquitted the guy who might have killed his dad.
I see.
But that one was ultimately... Oh, but then as a result of this, I believe we went to the DL6 retrial.
Yes,
because
that's what
we were retrialing... Yeah, because it was like right before the time it couldn't be retrialed again. I don't remember exactly what the word is. So they're retrialing that.
No. I moved 1-4 and not ranking these just to rest it. It's not not ranking.
I refuse. It's too good or too bad.
It's too peak. It loops back around. Okay.
Yeah. And in the retrial, they were accusing Edgeworth because he didn't know what was happening.
Yes. I think it goes without saying. Kiss me Edgeworth tier. Just sloppy kisses all around. I think this case earns it. It's also one of the cases that, again, we should all say it. Where does Edgeworth get his therapy? Trick question. He doesn't have any. He seriously needs therapy. Get this man, like, something.
Multiple times where he's still, like, scared of earthquakes because of this incident. He hasn't gone. I mean, I guess it's trauma, I suppose.
It's
but
trauma,
still.
but it's like, bro has not gone to a therapist because it's like he is literally physically disabled from like doing anything due to like sheer trauma response of earthquakes.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there. But
I think just the fact that we have to like remember all the little details, I think, says something about the complexity of the case, which I like. Sometimes
it's
things can be overcomplicated.
But it's like
I think this
complex in the best way. It's like the perfect complexity for Phoenix Wright. I love the fact that Von Karma has canonically prepped the bird before we called it to the stand. He like the bird was like trained ahead of time to not respond to the like poly whatever thing that normally works because of Von Karma, even though he had no plan of calling the bird to the stand. Regardless, I think
Which Von Karma, great villain, by the way. I think he was
great.
Yeah, he was a killer in both the DL6 and this Turnabout Goes Bias case, right? I think. Did he kill Robert Hammond?
No. The Robert Hammond, I thought the bird owner did it. He was paid, or not paid. Von Karma told him to do it. Through the notes.
It was the bird guy.
Yeah, the bird guy was a guard who had brain damage.
Yeah.
Who was there?
Right.
At
He was the guard in the elevator. Yeah.
So that's essentially what happened there. Point being, I think let's just take a moment here to look at, in a vacuum, the first Phoenix Wright. Oh wait.
No, well, this is technically where the
case.
original game would end. So I don't know if you want to include that one yet.
I will just say
right
now,
it as DLC.
if you look at just the original game as is, it's a very interesting spread. For the 4 cases, you know, it's 3 out of 4, that's a 75%. It's a C.
Yeah.
But, you know, I
C,
think...
right. I bumped it up to a B because of 1-4, personally.
Yeah, I think it's, in total, more good cases than bad. But, you know, I think I'd be remiss not to mention longest case.
Yep. Rise from the ashes.
This is gonna be a doozy, because this case, the Blue Badger exists because of this case.
Does it?
Yes.
It does, doesn't it?
This is the first appearance of the Blue Badger. So...
Jeez.
Like, it's...
Yeah, so...
I have to say, this case... you know, I know you need to do your introductory stuff, so I'll let you do that, but I have a lot to say about this case.
I have a hard time remembering a lot of the details just because it's so long and there's so many moving parts.
Yeah.
At the very least, do you remember... Well, do you remember the defendant?
The defendant was the police officer.
Do you remember her name? At least her last name?
Oh, her name. Is it Bird? No.
Bird?
Oh. Wait, no. Was it a woman in this one? I thought it was...
Mm-hmm. No, it's a woman. She was not the police officer, she was a prosecutor. Chief prosecutor, I think.
Oh my god, I remember her. I don't remember her name, but I know it's this girl's older sister. She was a prosecutor.
Do you remember the younger girl's name?
Hold
Your
on.
sister's name?
I do not. She appeared in one case.
Yeah. So it was Emma Skye. The defendant is Lana Skye, her older sister.
Lana. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I forgot. This case caught me off guard with how long it is and how many different things.
Yeah.
Because there's a Lana Skye. First, I remember the portions of the case, at least. First, we start off with Edgeworth's car having the body in it, in the prosecutor building, in the parking lot. In there, we had ladies such as Bento Box Girl, and I think that was it. She kept on claiming to have stopped the prosecutor.
Texas dude.
Nope. Texas dude is later. We see him.
No.
Oh.
No, he's in this case, yeah. Jake Marshall.
No. I mean, he shows up not in the prosecutor. Hold on, reconnecting? Yeah, there we see the cowboy guy in none other than...
He's a little bit later.
We go to check out the security building.
That's right, because he's just a security dude now.
Yeah. They're all involved in, like, one case that happened many years ago, involving, like, a murder that happened in Damon Gantz's office. One thing is, it introduces us to the GOAT. Who's the GOAT?
Is it Jake Marshall?
Blue Badger, yeah.
The Blue Badger.
Listen, I feel like
Right,
that alone would make me think, like, oh, this is easily Blue Badger approved. But, like...
But we separate Blue Badger from the game as... yes.
I separate the art from the author.
Yeah, exactly. The Blue Badger as a concept is what is approving it, not the Blue Badger specifically from this case.
Yeah. And I think it's really important to note, in this case, this had some of the most unique, like, gameplay stuff.
Yes.
Like, this
which
had
I think...
weird...
I meant...
It had the first case of 3D animation. Like, there was this one part of the case that I got really stuck up on, which was,
the recording
they show the recording of the guy getting attacked, and it's just creepy.
Yep.
But it was the most 3DS this franchise
Yeah,
felt in the original trilogy.
I mentioned it when you were streaming it. This, I believe, was made after Apollo Justice 3D animation. I will note that the 3D animation of this game is better than Apollo Justice's.
Mm-hmm. That is surprising.
Yeah, and maybe because they improved it. Maybe in the remaster it's better. But regardless, that's why a lot of the elements are so different, because there's more mini games. Because Apollo Justice has more mini games like that. Yeah.
Well.
And you remember the ultimate killer?
I do remember. The killer is who I remember the most. Damon Gant. He's like...
That guy is pretty cool.
He is real... Dude, his breakdown... I think I had the most fun voicing his breakdown, where I was like... I literally went full smiling face. Like, it tweaked out. And, dude, Damon Gant, bro, had the most, like... I don't know. I feel like they're on the nose with their names for once. But...
Yeah.
When are they not on the... No, that's the thing. They're not always on the nose. Sometimes
usually,
puns, but sometimes they're on the nose. Either way,
it is interesting.
I want to give this game. I mean, not game. I want to give this case lukewarm. How are you feeling?
I wish it could go to Blue Badger approved because of how cool the story part of it is, but I think the puzzles are.
Repeat that sentence.
I think because of how long it is and because of how badly designed some of the puzzles are, I think lukewarm is fair. Mm-hmm. I do want it to go in Blue Badger approved just because I like the story a lot.
The story is... Alright. I guess that's the thing. It's a lot of story. Like, for example, it's pretty much the case that sets up why Edgeworth disappears. And, you know, it sets up for the status quo in the second game. Where
it also does
Wright
set up Apollo Justice somewhat. Because there are characters, I don't know if I told you which ones will be in Apollo Justice.
Forensic girl is in Apollo Justice.
Yeah. Emma Skye is in Apollo Justice, so it's setting up her relationship with Phoenix, because I think they know each other in Apollo Justice.
Yeah. Also true that to this moment, 1-3 being in public execution for introducing Old Bag is not shocking to me. Yes. And you know what?
In fact, the only thing we're executing in that case is just Old Bag.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait,
no, I disagree. Very intense, but we're going now.
Well, it's not from the trilogy. That's the problem, I think. Is it?
I don't know. This is just Ace Attorney tunes to study vibe to. YouTube has been hounding me with this, so it's alright.
It's a good song anyways, but I think it's from one of the later games.
Yes.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. Alright, Judge. Either way, with this, we see a kind of bell curve form for the first game. You know, it seems to be above average overall, you know, like that.
But it has some down parts, which I think sets a good precedent for the game, for the series. Some really good parts, but also some really not great parts.
Yeah, I think that, what's it called? Oops, I accidentally nuked the music. Eek. Wow, look what he did. It's solely because I didn't try to fix lag. Spear of Justice. Oh, Spirit of Justice.
Speaking. Oh yeah, Spirit of Justice. That's the 6th game. We'll get to that eventually. Speaking of bad parts of the game, we're up to Justice for All.
Fellas, you see this bell curve? Expect to see this tank. Starting off with... Well,
do you remember the first case?
I actually do remember the Lost Turnabout. I actually think I like this case. I can tell you, we were defending Maggie Bird from, well, it was what's it called? Winston Payne. You know, he's back.
with the prosecutor, classic.
the prosecutor Winston Payne defending Maggie Bird against the guy who gave Phoenix Wright amnesia. I think it was kind of funny as a setup that Phoenix just got hit in the back of the head. And I think it's like, okay, that's their way of setting up why Phoenix would be struggling at this point of the story. It gives meaning, It gives meaning.
Do you remember the victim in Killer by any chance?
I do not remember. I don't remember the name of the killer. I know what he looks like, and I don't remember the victim either. Wait, no, the victim was Wait, was it Maggie Bird's?
Yeah, her boyfriend.
Boyfriend. Yes. Boyfriend, or was it fiance? For some reason, I remember fiance, but that might be a different case.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just her boyfriend, and his name was Dustin Prince. Because he was a police officer. I just got it. Dustin Prince, like Dusting Prince.
I see.
Hilarious. And then the killer, the killer was, if I can find it. Wellington was his last name. I want to say Beef Wellington.
For a first case, I think
Richard
that this
Wellington, sorry.
is short, but I think that this case is Blue Badger approved. In fact, I would say,
I think,
compared to the first tutorial case, I think that it's a strong opening for a sequel.
I think I would put it in lukewarm. I think it's good, but just not memorable at all. Like, I think with Larry Butts as the defendant for the first case in the first game, that immediately makes it just very memorable. And like, I don't know, I just remember all the details of the first game more than I remember anything about this case.
Yes, this is
Maybe
what the theme of the second game will be, trying to remember what the hell happened.
It's like, I know someone fell, something like that. I don't remember anything like that.
I have to be nice.
And I think the amnesia thing is a little dumb.
You know what, I'm trying to be too fair for this. You know what, I'll say it's lukewarm, better than 1-5 though. In a sense that it's short.
I will accept it. I will accept that. I'm not happy with it.
I will say that my mood on this will swap depending on numerous factors.
Yeah.
But I think we're about to see.
I think that's a good spot for now.
Actually.
Yeah.
This is like an actual famous case too, but
this one I actually do like. This one
like
is Reunion and Turnabout.
Reunion and Turnabout, with none other than Maya Fey being the one we're defending. And this is, I think, to me, the reason why I like this is like, this is the most meme-worthy it gets of Maya being accused. It's like, I think this is arguably the peak of Justice for All. I don't remember 2004,
I would agree.
But I think that this case, I don't know if it's Kiss Me Edgeworth too.
Do you remember? Okay, well, first, before we do that, do you remember who the victim was?
I do not remember the name, but I remember why he was there.
Yeah, he was the doctor guy.
He was a doctor trying to get Maya Fey to bring back someone, so he wouldn't. Wait, wasn't this the case with like sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the victim was Turner Gray. And speaking of sisters, do you remember who the killer was?
The fact, you know what? The fact I don't remember is already making me lower this case. I don't remember it.
Well, it was technically, you meet her as Eenie Miney, and then you learn her real name is she was, Meanie Miney, her sister.
Miney. Yes.
Yeah. And then Morgan Fay was also there. She was an accomplice. She wasn't a killer though, but she did go to jail for being an accomplice. Important to remember. But for me, I think just because how memorable it is, I think I also like the characters, and I think the twists are pretty fun. I would put it in Blue Badger approved. I don't know if I'd put it. I'd probably put it around 1, 2. I don't remember, or I don't know if I should put it above or below.
I think for me, I'm trying to remember, but I think my takeaway of this case was that I knew I was more likely to be okay with it because of the fact that, you know, this is like the meme case of Maya gets holding a gun, getting accused, and it's like Phoenix just having to somehow piece it all together, which is very funny. But I think, as well, it's worth noting this is the first case. Oh, this is the first case where we see prosecutor Von Karma.
Yes.
Whip
this is
lady.
true.
And I think it's important to note that, because what do we learn about Von Karma through this case? An introductory case for a new prosecutor? That's very important. Well, we learned that Von Karma strives for perfection.
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright does not care about her at all. That's important to note. He seems to outright be hostile towards her when he sees her. And this is when Phoenix Wright is beginning to show signs of not wanting to talk about Edgeworth whatsoever. So...
That's right. That was the whole thing. You think he's dead throughout this whole game.
You do. Edgeworth is dead! Totally, guys.
No.
Just ignore the entire bottom half of the screen. Anyway.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that, about what you learn about her, is that's the only thing you ever learn about her, basically.
Yeah,
there is not a whole lot to her besides that.
That's it. That's all you learn about her. Nothing else. You could kind of... This same character archetype will follow her throughout the whole series.
Like, literally, even in the investigations, she doesn't get a whole lot more.
Yeah.
I have to say.
As such,
I like her as a character, but yeah. I think what you're gonna say, yeah, I think that's fair. Move it down a bit.
I'm gonna move it down there.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a good spot. I think
we're really gonna see the weaknesses of the Von Karma-ness.
Yeah.
In this case here.
Which, speaking of weaknesses, Turnabout Big Top, the best case in all of Ace Attorney.
Turnabout Big Top. This case.
I mean, I'm
gonna cut you off. I need to do. This is the point. The people have been waiting for me to go on a rant. I fucking hate this case. In fact, it makes me want to shift this entire tier to just say, put a gun to Moe's head. I hate this case. Made me want to stop playing the game. Like, genuinely, I have never felt such an urge to just drop a game than when I did this case. The circus people are weird. Pedophiles are weird. I shouldn't need to say that, but it seems like the game can't get over the fact that the fucking teen princess, I don't know what they're going on about. It's a different time. Sure, I'll excuse that. It's just boring and drawn out, man. Nobody gives a shit about the ventriloquist. Nobody gives a shit about the what's it called? Random girl who's also a psychopath. Nobody cares about Moe. You know what? Future me, flashbang the image of Moe sitting in the prison crying. I don't care. I hate this case with a passion.
But do you like Max Galactica, the defendant?
Max Galactica could suck my dick, bro. I don't care. Okay, actually, Max Galactica is fine. He's fine.
He's okay.
Yes, and you know what? I vibe with Max Galactica because he too does not give a shit about the circus. And you know what? I'd dap him up on that. Hell yeah, brother. Because you know what? I say new tier, even below this one, and I'm calling this one, make it red. We're calling this the Kill Moe tier.
I think it's with an E, but yes.
With it, and I'm setting it to, like, I don't know, evil Kill Moe. I hate this case. Do I even need to say anything about, like, okay, I like the idea of, like, oh, someone actually flew using the circus equipment. And you want to know something? I bet the only reason those Phoenix Wright writers decided to make it a circus was so they can have it so the killer flew away. That was it. They were just like, we think that'd be really funny. And you want to know something?
Yeah.
Von Karma is also here. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You want to know what we get out of this case? We learned that Von Karma tracks, what's it called, Gumshoe with a tracker. This is also, like, I think the case where you go to the hospital. Am I correct?
Oh, no, that was the case before.
Okay, never mind. Then scratch.
We might want to bump it down just for that.
Yeah. No, we leave it here for now.
We'll leave it, but we forget about that part.
I genuinely forgot what 2-3 was until you mentioned circus. Oh, dude, it's even worse, because you want to know something? This case is so drawn out. It's a full 3 days. Like, I don't... Because first, you figure out, like, you're exonerating, what's it called? your defendant, whatever Maximum Galactica, whatever. Then, second day, ventriloquist guy, because, you know, everyone loves a ventriloquist. And then third day is the handicap guy, which, you know what? That's... The handicap dude was okay. Sure. And you want to know what I don't care about? Mo. Because you want to know something?
For how much you remember of this game, I'm starting to think that maybe you do like this case, secretly.
I think the fact that it's crazy because I remember everything. But
I don't remember anything from this case. You remember more than I do.
Yes, because I had you know, that is weird how I can remember all... Well, that's the thing. Kill Mo. This is beyond, like, I didn't like it. Kill Mo is pure hatred. I remember every tiring second of this case. And it seems like it wanted me to feel the time age. Okay. Also, it made me want to drop the game because the investigation portion is arguably one of the worst investigations as well. You're constantly going back and forth in the circus over and over again, the different rooms. Mo as well is crazy because they try to convince you that Mo is like the emotional core of the group at some point. Remember, Mo's like, I'm gonna bring back the circus, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Again, crazy, I remember that. But it's like, you know, even in the court, the most satisfying thing was everyone just not giving a shit about Mo. And it's like, okay, dude, I hate this case. I hate this case. I hate this case. Moving on. 2-4. Well, actually, you know what? I forgot. What are your thoughts?
I mean, there's not a whole lot to be said that hasn't already been said. Yeah, it's not a very good case. It's not, I don't think I hate it as strongly as you did, but you are not the only one who hates it as strongly as you do. I think live execution is fair. I think giving it its own kill mode tier, also fair.
If, like, genuinely, it is insane, because this also bleeds into the next trial here, in a sense, but... Yeah, next trial is farewell my turnabout. Now I want to say one thing. I remember this case is hype, but also, Edgeworth shows up and completely shoves Von Karma out of the way. Like, this is actually, I would say, Kiss Me Edgeworth's here, because this has the kidnapping. I'm gonna actually say it. I just had a flash now. This is a case where Mo...
I'll remind you of the... I don't know if we're going to do the thing.
Actually, pop quiz me, because I think I might be misremembering.
Okay. Do you remember who the defendant is? He's like the bread and butter of this case.
The defendant is none other than the guilty man himself. What's it called? What? I just blanked on his name. He scratches himself. He looks like Yuta from Jujutsu Kaisen.
He does. Like, his name is Matt Ongard.
Ongard, yes, Ongard.
Yes, he's one of the few cases where we find our own defendant guilty. Well, I think one of the only ones. I'm thinking about it.
This is the only case where we have, at least in the trilogy, where the defendant is guilty, and it's awesome. I think that's what made this case so amazing, is that, like, you slowly figure it out. And I think it's really creative the way they did it, because they know Phoenix Wright has the truth detector. He just asks them, did you kill the person? And he says, no. And the lie detector doesn't go off, so he's like, oh yeah, sure. In reality, he hired the killer to do the job. And his
first appearance of Shelley the Killer, Shelley the Killer was great.
And I think that this was a really, really good case overall. I think, though, this is going to be a weird thing to say, but this might be a criticism of all of Justice for All. I love that Edgeworth comes back. This is like the triumphant return. But simultaneously... So guys, who's that one lady? She carries a whip around, you know. She's like the new prosecutor for this game. No? Oh, she gets shot. What? Yeah, she got shot. Okay? Is she okay? I don't know, she's in the hospital. What the?
Oh! I mean, she does help at the end. She gets, like, some evidence.
She does the dramatic... Wait, no, it's Gumshoe, you fool!
No, it's not. It's not. Oh, Gumshoe gets it.
It's both of them.
She brings it in.
Yes. Gumshoe is like, wait! Gumshoe! And then what's it called? Von Karma appears at the end, and you know they have that.
Because Gumshoe gets. You remember, Gumshoe gets in a car crash.
He does get into car crash, and the evidence that he brings is like useless. But they managed to bluff their way through it. Point being, I want you ignore this case 2-4 for a second. Let's look at the cases that we have. This one, and this one. These three
are good to okay.
Are good to okay. Now I want you to remove the one that, what's it called? Which cases have Von Karma in it as a prosecutor? Blue Badger approved, and the worst trial in the series. Needless to say, what Von Karma? I think that they completely screwed her in her own game that she got introduced in, and she has never recovered.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think they quite knew how... I mean, they knew what they were going for when making her. I don't think they knew what they were going for with her arc and her story. And they kind of never really know what they're doing with that.
They do something at the very end of the game where she holds onto that Phoenix Wright card that she got as a part of the evidence. But it's almost like too little too late. Like, I almost feel like that it was hard to even do an emotional send-off. Because I'm like, Von Karma, where have you been? I think one of the big problems with Von Karma is that she's kind of just Edgeworth too. Because like her whole thing is supposed to be, oh, she's Von Karma's daughter, and so she wants to be perfect. Then she realizes she's not like that, but except not really, because we already did that with Edgeworth. We already did that with Edgeworth. So then they're like, wait a minute,
Edgeworth already did that. What do we do with her?
We did that with Edgeworth, and to add on top of that as well, she also just rejects. She's like, you compared her to like her dad, but she almost immediately is like, nah, I'm not like him though. I'm different, and like,
if she's not,
still acts the exact same. So like, she is a flat character. They gave her one quirky gimmick, which was whipping people, which doesn't even like add on to her having a whip. Doesn't change anything about her character.
Yeah, it's funny, but that's about it.
It's funny. Sure.
Except
like,
some parts.
You want to know something? This is the Phoenix Wrightification. Giving a character... This is something that is so broad that I can't even call it criticism to any one case. Giving characters one quirky trait and running it into infinity. I hope you like the trait and the quirk that they have, because if you don't, boo-hoo. Which is really funny, because my favorite prosecutor in the game also has a quirky trait. But also, like, it's done well. It's done well with the character, and it's also so much more mundane. Like, if you think about it, I could just say it's Godot. Godot drinking coffee in the court is not the same as whipping people in the court. You know, it's like, oh, he's drinking his 15th cup of coffee. He must be tweaking out. I wonder why he's always sipping that caffeine. We'll figure that out later. Regardless.
Yeah, and you actually do figure it out. Von Karma just has a whip.
Von Karma just has a whip, and it almost seems out of character. I don't know. Like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Point being...
Which, actually, I will have to disagree with you on your placement up there.
Yeah, let's go back to this, because...
I don't like this case as much as other people do. It's a hot take.
I love it. Let me hear it.
I might even put it... maybe not. I might put it in... maybe not Womp Womp. I was thinking Womp Womp. But that's probably...
You're gonna have to give me a good argument here for that. There's a lot
I mean, I think... Okay, no, maybe that's harsh. That is harsh. I would put it in lukewarm. I thought... Yes, the kidnapping thing was cool. I think that the big sell of this game... of this case was the Matt on guard thing. I thought that was the coolest part. But as a whole, it didn't feel like it related to, like, as a final case in the game, didn't feel like it really related to any of the characters' stories at all. Well, like, Maya got kidnapped, sure, but that doesn't have anything to do with her as a person.
I'll counter that. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I would argue that it does relate to the characters. It specifically relates to Phoenix Wright. and how he chooses to be, like, why is he a defender? Because that's the thing. The whole idea of the case is that he's trying to figure out why is he doing, like, his job there of being a defender. Is he, like, a defendant? Oh my god, I can't speak. A lawyer, I'll say that. An ace attorney. Because at the end of the day, he's ultimately given the choice. Does he defend a guilty man and save Maya? Or does he find the truth and ultimately sacrifice the life of Maya in the process? Like, I think that is entirely why this case has a lot of, like, personal impact to Phoenix. And I also think that's why Edgeworth was the one they chose to be here for this case. Because Edgeworth, in a sense, was the one who was previously given the choice of why is he a prosecutor, and he ran away. That was his answer. And we see that in the bad ending of Phoenix Wright. Like, because this game has a bad ending, where when you do defend, you know, Matt Ungard, like, he runs away afterwards, which I think is meant to perfectly, like, reflect what Edgeworth did at the end.
That's
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that's the strong part of this case. I think that part is well written. I think half of it I didn't like the puzzle. I'm going back to when I played it, and I remember struggling a lot with the puzzles and how they were presented, and I didn't like that. So I didn't like that part. So that was half of it for me why I didn't like this case very much. The other half, I do think they could have done that part better, because I mean you get the idea of what they're going for there, but I think Maya getting kidnapped adds stakes to it, but I feel like kind of almost in some ways takes away from what they're going for with Phoenix Wright defending for his own reasons. Because I mean, like he said, he has the choice to get this guy guilty, or get this guy not guilty and win the case and also save Maya, or get him find the truth and get him acquitted as guilty and lose the case. But it almost doesn't really show as much of, like, what he thinks about winning or losing as it could have, because Maya is there if he wins, if that makes any sense.
Well, I don't think Phoenix Wright cares about winning or losing. He cares about, like, whether it's his job to find the truth or not.
Well,
Winning
yeah,
or losing, like,
that's what they're trying to go for, but, like,
having it be Maya, I believe, is to add, like, literally, it is the maximum tier of making it as personal to Phoenix as possible.
Yes.
Like, and I think
that
it's a bit dramatic.
It kind of takes... Yeah. It makes it dramatic. Yes, I agree. But I think it takes away from... I'm having a hard time wording this, but it takes away from his trying to grapple with whether he wants to win the case or find the truth. Because I mean, I don't know if they've really... Because every time he's had a case before this, he knew he was not... They were not guilty, or basically pretty much knew. But with this case, he doesn't really have a choice of whether he wants to win or lose so much, because if he gets them not guilty... no, I think I'm mixing stuff up.
Yeah, because remember, at the start, he was just trying to find them innocent because he believed they were innocent. And then at a certain point, he realized it completely switched on him, where he realized that him getting the innocent verdict is wrong, actually.
Yeah.
Like, it's his job to get the person he is defending, you know, the not guilty verdicts. But he learns as the trial goes on that this person is, in fact, guilty. And not only that, because it seems like if he had no reason to, like, do what he did, like, if Maya was involved there and there wasn't the whole kidnapping, he probably would have just said, my client is guilty, I'm not defending him. He probably wouldn't have liked doing that, but at the end of the day, he doesn't want to defend an actual murderer.
Yeah, but okay, I think that's fair. I think...
He is strong-armed.
I think I was mixing it...
Case.
Yeah. I think I'm mixing stuff in my head on the details.
Yeah.
But, I think where is it's fair. I think I might have just a personal not liking for this case. Maybe not reasonable. I'm not quite sure anymore. I'll have to replay it at some point.
That the case has to... The reason why you wouldn't like it is because of the fact that, well, it's justice for all.
Yeah, I think my main issue. I think by this point in the game,
Is this
I
the
was
one that
getting sick
Mia
of this
gets
game.
kidnapped by the butler, or the different one? This is the
That's
case where
Maya.
Maya
Maya
gets
gets
kidnapped. Yes.
Yeah, Mia is dead.
Mhm.
Sorry to break it to you, but yeah, I think by this point in the game, I was done with Justice for All, and I wanted it to be over. Which I think is most people's.
I felt that as well, but I'm trying to like actually think of the case as is, and I think the case
Look at it in a vacuum.
Because this is a thing. It's like, I think I mentioned this with Von Karma, but if I think about this case in the context of the whole game, it's like a piece of gold in a pile of shit, you know? It's like, you clean off all the shit, you still have a piece of gold, but damn, it was kind of gross that you had to go through all the shit to get the gold.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. I think that's fair. In the vacuum, I think this case is... I don't know if I would put it in Kiss Me Edgeworth. I think that's a good spot, though. I'd probably put it at least in Blue Badger Approved.
I mean, I just think
the
like,
fact that
looking
it's
at each of these cases, I think this is also the best way of turning a twist, because this is what everyone is thinking this when you're playing as a defender. It's like, all these people are actually innocent, but what happens when the person isn't innocent? And I think the game double reinforces that by making it so Phoenix doesn't even have the choice of just being like, he's guilty, I'm not defending him. And I think that's why it's important that this case exists in this franchise, and I think they did the best that they could, given the context of where this game was placed.
I guess going back to my earlier point, I think I just wish there was a game where that was the case, but there wasn't such high stakes. Just like he figures that out, and he's like, oh shoot, what do I do? Well, I guess I have to find the truth, or something like that.
Yeah.
But even though that's not the case, I think as its own case, you're right, this is a really good case. I think it's just, as a whole, being with Justice for All makes it a hard case to get through, because you're like stuck with, you literally went through the worst case in the series right before this.
Yeah, and it's the thing, I also was more impressed with this case because when I saw the samurai, this is really crazy to me, because if you look at the Kill Mo, these are back to back, and this case has stuff from my second least favorite case, at least in the franchise.
It still manages to be
good, despite
and it
all
has
the
Old
samurai
Bag in
stuff.
there.
Yeah, but like Old Bag is almost like forgettable.
And
she's not a big
I think this.
They
it goes to
literally
show how
put her head
important
in a bag.
writing is. Yeah.
Like it shows how important writing is, and it's just like, I think that this case had a lot of burden to carry through the game and what was in it, and it did the best that it could, and I think because of that, in a vacuum, I believe it deserves to be in the Kiss Me Edgeworth tier.
Okay, I will accept this. That was a good conversation. I need to replay the series again and get my any fresh eyes on this, because I think some of my opinions are a little bit nostalgic. I played the series it was like in high school, so like 4 or 5 years ago maybe. It's been a little while since I played it myself.
Yeah, I feel like I've also I have all these cases fresh in my mind, but also the case. That's why if a case is really not memorable to me, I think that's what lukewarm tier. I almost feel like Womp Womp is not even worth having at this point. Because I mean, lukewarm is like the mid tier.
I think it's okay to have. I think we just haven't had any cases that just
were actually bad, but not horrible. I think that's the case. And you know what?
I think we have one coming up.
I just saw a certain case coming up that actually I think is the perfect Womp Womp case. But we'll get there, because it's certainly not 3-1.
Turnabout Memories.
Memories.
I like this one a lot because of what it's like a really big twist, because it starts off, you remember, it starts off in the past. In the past.
I don't even need to go. I can recall most of this case. You go back. You're none other than Mia Fey, being a bright-eyed new defender. However, attorney, I should say attorney, not defender. Being a bright-eyed new attorney. And, this is not her first case, actually. if I remember correctly, this is her second.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the second case. This is the case
Yes.
where she defends Phoenix, and she seems to have some sort of previous relationship with the person that she is going to eventually claim to be guilty. The certain lady who my mind is blanking on her name, accompanied.
Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yes, Dahlia Hawthorne. And to add on to that as well, with Dahlia Hawthorne, we also see, what's it called? It's not Diego yet. Diego is later. What we see here, though, is the big fat lawyer dude.
Marvin Grossberg, yeah.
Grossberg. Yes, and you have a young Phoenix as well. And I have to just say, I think that this case is Blue Badger approved, and I would argue top of Blue Badger approved. I don't know if it's Kiss Me Edgeworth tier, but I think that they're actually. I think it's say it's top of Blue Badger approved, not Kiss Me Edgeworth tier. I think.
Yeah, it's too early in the game to have all the payoffs that make a case so good.
Yeah.
So
don't know why 1-1 is so high. 1-1 is like the perfect intro to the series. You have to think of it contextually as well. It is the case that every single person does first, and it is the one that has to stick the landing and convince you to pursue the game. And I think that it does a good job of setting Phoenix up and getting their relationships cleared out between Mia, Larry Butts. It's a short case, no less, so it has more room to it has less time to waste. So because of that, it makes you feel good. It has quick, simple payoffs, and I think that it's a good setup to continue from here. Either way, I think that there's not much. Dahlia Hawthorne, that's her name, Dahlia.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember who was the person who died here. His name.
It was
one of her lovers.
Yeah, his name was Doug Swallow, but yeah, he was the.
Because Wait, no. I almost said because he swallowed the poison, but that's the other guy that we'll see eventually.
Yeah, I think doesn't Phoenix eat the thing?
Phoenix swallows it, like the whole entire capsule.
He takes the whole bottle, yeah. Which maybe that's what it's alluding to. I'm not 100% sure. But
Phoenix,
or maybe it's just a bird.
Yeah, I think it's just a bird, like a swallow bird. Maybe it's because he died to a power pole and birds do that. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
That might be it. Either way,
but
there's not much else
I think
to say for this case other than it's good, man. And I think from here we can move on to Godot. What is there to say about you?
Yeah, it's 3-2, the stolen turnabout. And I like this case a lot.
I'm gonna say, I need a refresher about what this. I remember Godot, but I can't. Let me see if I can try to remember what the case was without you saying anything.
Do you remember? Well, I'll quiz you on at least. Do you remember who the defendant was?
The defendant? Let's see. Wait, it was because this was Godot's first
appearance, second game. Stolen turnabout.
Stolen turnabout. He seems to have a grudge against Phoenix, as they are. Wait, no, this is the. I don't know. My mind's completely blanked.
I'll give you him with the defendant. It's Rhonda Light. Does that ring any bells?
I know the name, but I cannot remember what the case was. No, actually.
Do you want me to tell you the killer?
Yeah, just tell me.
Okay, it was the one with Luke at me, the Mask to Mask case.
Oh! Right! The Mask to Mask case.
Yes.
This was... You know what? I love Godot, and I'm almost blinded by... What? I'm almost blinded by Godot, and I like this case too. But...
No,
well,
don't do it.
I'm gonna say something. It's kind of drawn out.
I disagree. I think I really like the twist that you're defending someone for robbery and then it turns into a murder. I like Rhonda Light. I thought his whole thing was pretty cool, except for he was kind of annoying at times. But I think mostly he was cool. I really like Luke at me as a villain.
I will.
And I like the twist where he was trying to get himself on
he was trying
charges
to get
for
himself-
robbery.
He was trying to say,
Yeah.
like, unmask the mask, please.
Well, he was trying to get himself. Luke Hatton was trying to get himself charged with robbery, so he would have an alibi for the murder charge.
Yeah, you know what?
I
Miss
think
Delight,
it goes-
listen, Miss Delight is certainly bad, but I'm not gonna let that... You know,
Me
okay.
personally, I'll just tell you where I would play it. I would put it below 1-2, I think. Maybe above 1-2.
I was actually gonna
That's
have
where I
it
would
be
put it.
here as well. A lot of this is
Okay.
carried by the fact that I love this case because it really sells who Godot is as a person, and you know, I think what I remember about it is the fact that at a certain point you get the fastest not guilty verdict ever, and then Godot is like, "Lol, yeah, but we just found a body, dummy."
Yeah, because you do it in like the first day.
Why is it above 2-2?
Well, I like it. I like it more. I think.
You know, Godot introduction is cool, but I can't remember. Okay. You know what? I might need to shift some things around here.
Okay.
Better?
Whoa. Hold on. Let me think. US one was the first one.
First case.
Well, I
lukewarm.
think. Move 1-5 up. I would move 1-5 up past 2-1.
I guess it's lukewarm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that this is gonna take some shifting here, but listen. I know this is like a quick domino fall.
Uh-huh.
Lukewarm, because this is like, it has a lot of good, it has a lot of bad, but it's like you have a
Mellows out.
Yeah, it's mellowed out because it's stretched out for so long. If it were shorter, it would be Blue Badger approved. But I think because of how drawn out it is, whatever. Womp womp, because it's like the most lazy way of doing like a sequel getting us started.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, he
Like
has
3-1 is
amnesia.
an example of the most creative way.
Yeah.
2-1 is pretty lazy.
Mhm.
Which is, I think that's what I think you mentioned that. Yeah, I don't like the amnesia thing.
And look at this,
Kinda
you have
funny.
all the ones back to back, and I agree with this
Yeah.
lineup right here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think I'm okay with
And
this.
it's kind of rating for the series as a whole.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah. You know, before we continue, you can tell your thoughts more about 3-2. I like where things are at. I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I guess for 3-2 as well, to add on top of it, I like the whole mask to mask and look at me. I actually thought look at me was kind of fun, but I'm also extremely biased because of the fact that I just had a lot of fun voicing the guy versus like actual ties to the story itself, if that makes sense. Because of that, I also think it's a problem that I couldn't remember it. I don't know if it was just because I was blanking, because mask to mask, in the grand scheme of things, like what's happening with the case is filler. What's happening with the Godot isn't filler, which is why I believe that part of it sticks out to me way more. It's also, I think, fine having that be above. I think all the cases that are above here are like pretty strong, memorable stuff. I think this is where you begin to see a bit of that fall off, and I think that alone is fine. I think I'll 3. Hoo boy. They vary so much, but I love them all. Wait around here. I don't know, how's chat feeling about the rankings so far here, guys? Reconnecting? Ooh boy. Don't worry about it. This is the part that would be cut out in the final video. Which, by the way, this video is going to be up. This VOD is going to be turned into a real YouTube video that's uploaded on the main channel. Ooh. I might try to see if I can get that done by tonight and upload it there. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let me grab my charger as well, chat. Wait, maybe I can like play an ad or something. That's what people do when they're like a Twitch stream. Whatever. You guys don't need ads. I love you all. You don't need that. Sub to the channel.
Okay, I'm back.
I am also back. I just grabbed the charger so I can plug in my phone. No, we have Marvel Rivals. Ranking. Wait, no mentioning of the. I want to stay focused. Okay. Hold on, let me just plug in my phone, then we can keep going here.
Oh, this song is so good. It's from a later game, but it's so good.
Yes. Okay. I think next up, we now have the case that I was thinking of when I said we have a case for Womp Womp. I'm showing my hand here already, but this is the most Womp Womp case to ever Womp since the Womp Womp case was, tier was created.
It's Recipe for Turnabout. None other.
I'm gonna say this is lower than this one, too. And I'm gonna say, here's my argument for Recipe of Turnabout. Let's just take this piece by piece. Recipe for Turnabout is a case featuring Maggie Bird being accused of, well, murder again. This does have Tiger in it, Tigray. But, well, that's, like, kind of it. Because there's, like, what's it called? There's Armstrong, which we don't even want to unpack all that. I'm just going to say, Poopy, that is a Womp Womp thing. Nobody cares about the restaurant. There was that one old guy there. I can't remember.
He fed pigeons. I can't remember his name either. With the big nose.
Yes,
yeah, he's
big
just
red nose.
A not as bad old bag.
But that almost makes him less memorable in a weird way.
Yeah.
He's just there. And lastly, there was what else was there?
There was.
You went to the techno shop. You went to like the work residence.
Is the least memorable place ever.
Like genuinely, it's insane.
Yeah.
Did 3-3 have old bag in it? No, it did not.
3-3 had the other old dude, but
there was like.
So I'll remind you of what happened. Yeah. Basically, the victim was some dude named Glenn Elg. He worked at that place. The killer was Tigray, Furio Tigray, that was his name. And he was a loan shark who had ties with the mafia, was it? I think, was it the mafia? That was the girl?
The girl was tied to the mafia. He hit the girl in a car crash and had to pay her medical bills, and now they're essentially blackmailing him into paying back the medical bills.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why he's blackmailing other people with loans and stuff. And he kills the guy to get his ticket, I believe.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all there is to say about the case when you really boil it down.
I like Furio Tigray as a character, but everything about it is very obvious. Like, of course, the guy who impersonates you, which also that's another thing, is you get impersonated.
Yeah, that
doesn't make a whole lot of sense because he's orange.
Like, that's the thing, but that's like, I forgot about that, but like, there's a whole thing where you get impersonated by Tigray, and it's like, oh, he's pretending to be you, and he is taking your place. And it's like, okay, this just makes, like, listen, Phoenix Wright, we know the judge is dumb and times and whatever, but I feel like this was the most it's ever been, well, okay, no. It's either this case or 3-5 that pushes it the most, but I'm gonna say this is more offensive for how far they push the rhetoric of the court systems being stupid. Because, come on, guys. Like, Phoenix Wright at this point is, like, actually a god defense attorney. He is, like, genuinely undefeatable. That is, like, the thing. They literally say that's, like, they had a newspaper article about how bad he did in this case. And no one decided to think, that's a bit weird. How this literal god attorney who somehow managed to cross-examine birds, go against crazed assassins, like, literally take down some of the most powerful people around, including the police commissioner and, like, actual billionaire affiliate, like, man. This same guy showed up to court one day and just went, "Rabble, rabble, scrabble, rabble, rabble, rabble." And they just,
like a New York accent or something.
Yeah, and they were just like, yep, that's him.
Like, I like, in general, the fact that they're like, the court system is supposed to be flawed in this case, in this game. And that's why you get a lot of the stuff where, like, the burden of proof is on you as the defense attorney. Yeah, but cases like these take it too far.
Yeah, like, I understand that, because they're basing that off literally the Japanese legal system, and the idea is that Phoenix Wright is supposed to be almost like a superhero figure. But this is just, like, almost insulting to... it feels weird to say insulting... Yeah. This case insults the intelligence of the players and makes the, like, world almost more silly in not a good way. Because there are so many things in the franchise that are fine. But this is... But, like, the court is
the one thing that's supposed to be taken seriously.
Exactly. So, like, the fact that someone could just... Like, also, like, you know that badge... Like, people meme about things like showing the badge, but, like, he needs that badge to be a defense attorney. Connecting? He needs that badge to be a defense attorney. So, like, genuinely, I don't know what the expectations are that he can just make a fake one, wear a different color suits, and just get away with it. Like...
Yeah, it's really silly.
As we talk about this almost makes me want to lower the case.
I don't know if I'd go down there. But I wouldn't put it in live execution.
I think, yeah, you know what, this is... Womp Womp is where this case sits. It's definitely not lukewarm. I would say this is certainly a bad...
It has good parts.
I think this is certainly, though, bad. More bad than good. And actively harms the world building that the series has, and which is weird to say for Phoenix Wright, but it's true. Well, I think that's all I have to say about this case. And, well,
which brings us to Turnabout Beginnings, which is the first case Mia Fey was on.
The very first Mia Fey case, and also the very first Miles Edgeworth case. And I'm gonna say...
It is true, although... This is interesting because it ends with a no verdict because of
a certain man,
Terry
Falles, taking the cyanide capsule, literally, and dying. I would say this case has only one weird thing with Terry Falles clearly being either mentally ill or something like that. There's like a weird factor there. But I'm actually gonna say that I'm strongly leaning towards this being a Kiss Me Edgeworth tier case.
Wow.
And
I don't know if I put it that high.
And mind you, here's my argument. Mia Fey's first case, Edgeworth's first case, Diego Armando is also revealed there as well. This is one of those cases...
Now I see why. Now I see the real reason.
No, because here's the thing. Listen, a lawyer can never cry until it's over. It's cool. But listen, my argument for this case is that this case feels the most like it has tied everything together into one string of fates, in a sense. I like this case because of the premise alone of Phoenix Wright. It starts off with Phoenix Wright in a hospital bed, looking back at an old case. This is one of the moments where you look at some of the worst cases at the very bottom here. They're all cases that don't seem to have any real through line of the story, and they all kind of sit on their own. This case is arguably one of the cases that makes the final game in the trilogy the best one, in my opinion. It ties everything together and makes it seem like this is all one broad story that's leading into the very next case as well. As essentially, this is setting up the motivation for a certain prosecutor that we don't know exactly what the motivation is yet. This is also setting up as well, I think, for Mia, why she was so aggressive in the first case of the game as well. Added context there. It also sets up as well for the next case coming up as well. And I honestly, I could sing the praises of this case more and more, but I think I'll leave it at that, unless you have something to argue for it.
I agree with all those things, except I will say, all of that happens like at the end of the case. I think the problem with putting this case so high for me is all the stuff before all that really cool stuff happens where Taylor Falls dies, and all the stuff with Diego, and all the foreshadowing and whatnot, is that everything before it is kind of not great and kind of weird. Like, do you remember the victim, who it was? I mean, I guess that's not fair to say.
It was the sister who got shoved in the car.
Okay, you do remember. Okay.
Yeah,
Valeria Hawthorne. But I just don't think a lot of the stuff that didn't relate to the next case was very well written and good. I think the first case, while it didn't do all the cool stuff of connecting to the characters in the story,
one more thing.
It didn't do that. Yeah, it didn't.
Canadian judge returns.
Okay, kiss me Edgeworth. No,
Okay.
I
no,
think I like
keep
the
going.
I like the first case of the series of this case. Sorry, the first case of this game better. I think it was a better written case as a whole. Although I do agree that like all the stuff with Diego and Dahlia and like how it all connects and with Edgeworth too is really well written. But I think that's just a byproduct of the game as a whole being good. I don't know if this case by itself would be that high for me. I would swap where you have this case and 3-1 personally. Maybe.
Like top of Blue Badger approved.
I would be okay with this.
Yeah.
I would swap 4-1, but I think this is also good.
I think as well, like, I know I'm even just looking at the case in a vacuum, I think that, like, I still think the case holds up even in a vacuum, because here's another thing. It's short as well, which in my mind helps out cases as well a lot. Especially when you consider the fact that this case is like, 3-4 has the benefit of being short, no investigation, which, I think this franchise has taught me that if a game has me do a lot of investigations, I'm going to be more biased against it, unless the investigations are really good. But with that in mind, I still want to put it in Kiss Me Edgeworth, but
if you really feel strongly about putting in Kiss Me Edgeworth, I'll allow it. This is your tier list, not mine.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'd put it a little bit lower. So if you feel really strongly about it, this is your tier list. I can have
it be... You know what? I'll keep it there, because we have 3-5.
Bridge to the Turnabout.
Bridge to the Turnabout.
My goodness.
The last
you and me
game
feel
in the trilogy.
The exact same about this case.
Almost, dude. Would it be... I imagine that if we're talking about in the grand scheme of what Phoenix Wright fans say about this game, they probably skipped to this point and we're just like, alright, let me guess, they put it number 1. But dude, like, this... It's just good, man. This is like what a game should be building up to. It's literally undeniable. It takes everything that was set up across the entire game, Godot,
across the whole series, too.
Mia, literally the series. They started off the first day was Edgeworth and the Defender stand versus Von Karma, which was, whoa.
Yeah.
That was like the most creative way they brought back Von Karma. And I'm gonna say as well, I've criticized Von Karma a lot, but I think this case utilized her to the best that they could have. Having her be like your little buddy during the second day as well was really fun. I just liked as well the hostility that Godot showed towards her as well. I think kind of reflects back to how Phoenix first saw her, where he gets annoyed at how she's like going about perfection, blah blah blah. Yeah. That stuff. I just like Godot as well. I love Godot. He's my favorite prosecutor. He's probably one of my favorite characters.
And he's the highlight of this game.
He is 100%. The highlight of the game.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The reason. I mean, like the whole reason that really I wanted you to play these Ace Attorney trilogy. Not the whole reason, but part of it is because of this case.
This is just the case.
So good.
Like, it goes without saying. Now, at this point, it's a competition of, is it the best? I would say...
I would say by far the best.
Yes.
I would say give it its own tier. We're reviving, though.
I almost feel like it is deserving of its own tier, in a sense. It's like...
I mean, I feel really strongly about it.
I know what I'm gonna name it. You play... what's it called? You play Ace Attorney... You play the game for this case.
Don't worry for that.
What would be the best short way of saying you play it? This
I know.
Is what you came... This is what you came for.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I don't want to boil down the whole Ace Attorney series to be like, oh, well, just this case is the good one. But it's just, like, so phenomenal that, it hits all the payoffs. It's so good.
It hits every payoff incredibly. It's like, God, I love you tier. Godot, I love you tier. Yeah, you know what?
Kiss me, Godot. That's what it should be.
Kiss me, Godot. There we go. Wait, it should be his color.
Beautiful.
Wait, no.
Nice.
What? Is that his
It
color?
doesn't have it on here. It's a little darker, but they don't have it on there, so I think that works.
Kiss Me Godot. I feel like at this point, we have like a kind of chart here, but I almost feel like we should boil down some of the blue bats are approved here, because that's
Yeah, we
essentially
put a lot
the
of
last
stuff.
case here. I think one last thing though, before we boil it down, actually maybe, should we boil, because I want to do like each game case by case to see on average how they score. Should we
move
down?
stuff around?
Yeah, I think we should move stuff around before we do that.
I think we can move the 3, 1, and 3, 4 cases up to Kiss Me Edgeworth, and 1, 4 up to Kiss Me Godot. I don't know about you.
Now I see what
Unless you
you're
want to
trying
move
to do.
stuff down.
You're trying to move this one above.
No.
I deny that. Objection overruled.
Well, no, I'm saying both of them. Both of them.
Oh.
You can keep them in that order. And then we move 1, 4 up to Kiss Me Godot, because that's also really good. Unless you want to keep it in its own tier. Then we move other stuff down.
That would make sense. Okay, you know what? This is fitting
Okay.
with Edgeworth as well.
Except
Like-
Edgeworth's final case is in the Godot tier. But, we ignore that.
Yeah, we ignored that. Should this?
And then- I think,
I think this is fine. Watch you.
yeah. I would maybe move 1, 4 back down, actually.
Yeah, 1-4 back
Yeah.
down. This is probably the most fitting way of doing it. I think this is honestly.
Again, I gotta make it known I would switch 1, 4, and 1, 3, 4, and 3, 1, but you will not allow that. So,
No, I will not allow that.
I will
wonder if
request
this
that
is
3, 2 stays up
lukewarm.
there. Because for me, Adam,
Yeah.
I
What?
really like this case.
What you like 3-1 that much?
3, 2, 3, 2.
3,
Just personal
2.
request to keep it where it's at. Because I see you trying to move it down.
Oh, right. I'm fine with that. Because that's the thing, it's very bottom blue bats are approved. I guess the lukewarm
Yeah.
is a bit negative. Like, listen, take my, take what I like about Godot aside, which is hard, but just do that. This case is alright. I think it's fine. I think that lukewarm is kind of its own tier of mediocrity. And then, I think that this is, at this point, name live execution, old bag's live execution, since she's alone there. Wait, this is live old bag, live old bag execution.
I don't know why, but kill mode just seems more harsh. Because with old bag, it's at least it's a whole thing. But kill mode is just dead in an alleyway.
No, live old bag execution is you have a whole process for that. It's alright, it's execution dated for this day. Kill Mo is you pull out a revolver and you finish the job right there, and you don't even bury him.
He's dead on the floor. Oh my
He's
god.
dead in the courtroom and no one notices.
That's great.
Alright.
Well, I think that's a good tier list.
This is
Yeah.
a good tier list here. I think one last thing as well, before we kind of wrap it up. I do want to kind of have this be kind of a broad overview of the different games and their cases. Starting off with the first game here, it seems like the lowest you get is the live old bag execution here. Steel Samurai is not that. And then Lukewarm is relatively short and it's a tutorial, so it's almost whatever. First game seems to be relatively solid, despite I almost feel like the bad case is also a case where I feel depending on the type of person you are, you might completely have this case way higher up. I wonder if some people like the Steel Samurai more, and I'm very curious to hear what they say as well. I want to hear their defense of 1-3. I'll hear the Mo defense, but it's
I
gonna
was
take
looking
a lot.
online. People like that case. It's not very common, but people do like that case.
I genuinely, you want to know, this is my theory. I think I mentioned this earlier, but it's the idea that Phoenix Wright will give a character a trait. And if you don't like that trait, well, too bad, the character's gonna have it forever. And I think the problem is that this case is just shotgun blast of different quirky traits.
I think that's kind of why Justice for All is so
all over the
volatile
place.
for people. It's because
all over
some
the
people,
place, with no through
some
line.
people might think some people might find Mo funny. Some people might despise them. Some people might find Von Kamara to be interesting and fun. Some people hate that she whips people.
Yeah.
And like that's for every single case they have those characters.
I'm gonna say
So
this
if you don't
as
like
well.
that trait, you don't like the case.
I'm gonna give it. Let's say I'm neutral about Mo and I like Von Karma. This case is still womp womp. Like,
Yeah.
that's not giving it too much. I think we're already skipping to the second game here. But what a pitiful show the second game is. Especially like, it's funny because you have two of the alright cases to like. If the first game was like a B, the second game is like a D. Maybe like C- if you're being generous.
Yeah, I think D is fair.
Yeah. And
I don't think Ace Attorney has any Fs, but I think D is fair.
Apollo Justice.
No, don't say that. You haven't even played it. Leave my beautiful boy alone.
We'll get to him. We'll see how we feel about Apollo Justice when we get to him.
No, you're making me scared now.
Well, I see all of these games down here, man. Apollo looks pretty happy, and Athena.
Oh god, don't bring up Athena. She's a good character. Okay, well we won't get into that, but I like Athena. They don't do her. She kind of has a Von Karma treatment.
Yes.
Not as bad. But
I think last and not least, the third game, which on average has the highest cases by far, like on the rating.
Yeah.
The third game is most certainly an A tier game. Like even Womp Womp, I would say, it's still like.
I remember when you were playing it, you're like, it's fine.
I think
it's just
that's the
looking
thing.
At it as a whole.
Like, listen, Womp Womp was game where everything below lukewarm. Actually, starting from almost want to lower this game to Womp Womp because I think everything below here. No. I would swap these two. You want to know why?
Oh no, don't do it.
The reason
Please
why.
Don't do it.
is actually no, I don't feel 1-5 is fine. But the way I see it is any game that's below lukewarm or every case that is below lukewarm or cases that either made me want to drop the game or just get past it as fast as possible. This was okay. This tutorial, so I don't feel as strongly against it. I just wanted to get this over with by the end. I again would have dropped the series.
I feel like
this game was like. This was during the phase where I was like really being bad about my Phoenix Wright schedule for playing the game, and it's because it made me push the schedule back because I did not want to wake up at 9 a.m. or like 7 a.m. in the morning.
Good morning, Mo.
Imagine time to wake up 7 a.m. in the morning. Oh boy, another stream today. What am I gonna be doing? It's another day at the circus with Mo.
No.
Like that's a thing. Meanwhile, this case was the case where it's like I was scared to stream the game because I didn't want to do it a disservice because I could tell this was peak, and I was like, dude, I don't want to like do it on like an Xbox 360 microphone and be like, how's it going, guys? Coffee. My name is
the only thing that comes through.
It's Godowing time.
Coffee.
It's the only thing that comes in clear. Either way, I think that we're essentially wrapping up here. Wasn't there some other tier list you wanted to do as like a brief bonus one? You might be able to have time to do that.
I was thinking maybe character tier. We could just start the series tier list and like add to it as you play through them, maybe. Because character tier list would take a little while.
Oh, like an actual character tier list?
I think that would be probably too much time. That would be a whole.
Yeah, that's gonna be its own thing. I was thinking like if we did like a brief prosecutor tier list, sure. But I think we'll save a character tier list probably for another video. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
How this
could do that.
We could do that.
And then for series tier list, I mean, it's kind of clear what your ordering is.
I think.
Do you want to save that for once we have more games played?
Actually, I should say my series tier list goes third game, first game, second game, negative.
Yeah.
Like if I had to do it like second game is almost if I were to tell someone to play this game, I would be warning them about the second game. Like you pretty much did that for me as well, where you're like, well, just to let you know, a lot of the cases are kind of filler, or Because that's the thing. I remember at the end of the first game, I'm like, man, I'm curious to see where they take the story from here. I've seen the prosecutor before. I saw her.
Yeah.
Her name is Von Karma? Whoa. It's like, yeah.
Just be wary.
Be wary. So,
yeah, that's exactly how I have my tier list so far.
I wonder
Once
how
you
many
start
Von
getting into
Karma
volatile
fans,
stuff.
I wonder how many
there's people who love
fans
Von
want to
Karma.
kill me by the end of this.
Want to kill you? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I am
You're trying to be
fearful.
careful of any people with whips from now on.
Yeah. I'll be sure to be careful of anyone if I ever see a Von Karma cosplayer. It's gonna be over. Well, there you go. We did it. We made it. We made it to the end here. We have all these games here as well that I can't help but looking at. The Apollo Justice series is you.
Only 4 cases in the Apollo Justice game? I did not remember that.
What? I thought it was from here to like all the way to this one. It's this.
Oh, that's the trilogy.
Trilogy.
The
for just Apollo Justice,
I forget
these 4.
I forget that it's the Apollo Justice trilogy now.
Ah.
But yeah.
It does not seem like the most continuous trilogy thing. Either way.
It has less lows than the trilogy does, but not as many highs. But you'll get to that on your own.
But notice that the second game has 5 cases, and also, I saw the trailer for it. Damn, this one has 6 with the DLC.
Yeah.
This is a pirate DLC, and I think this is like a time traveling DLC. I saw the trailer.
That's the idea.
Well, I think this is just the point where, by the time you get to the 3D games, I think that's when they're like, Capcom is aware of what Phoenix Wright is by this point, and they're monetizing.
Yeah. Which I wish they would make an H37, but they're never gonna do it.
Listen, it's gonna be like Hollow Knight. By the time I finish it, they're gonna already be announcing the next thing, and I'll perfectly be able to experience it.
Do you know how many years I've been hearing leaks about H27, and we still haven't gotten it? They finally remastered Investigations, so at this point they have nothing else. They have nowhere else to go. They have to.
They have to. There's surely Capcom has no other games that they'd be making right now that they'd rather do.
No.
Anyways,
they have
what's
nothing
the next?
Else they can do.
What was it? There was something about like Monster.
No, not important.
And I think
Kill
this is
Monster
technically
Interface
not This is Capcom doesn't make Yakuza, right? That's Sega, right?
That's Sega, yeah.
Okay, I almost said the pirate game, which is just around the corner here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of Yakuza.
No. And the video ends there. That's exactly where the video ends. The stream's still live.
That's actually
here.
a really good spot.
That's exactly where it ends. Yakuza. No. Well, we made it to the end here. Thanks to all the people in the live chat as well who popped in to give their opinions.
Yeah.
Man, dude. This is it. This is the end. 3.5 months. Also, making this tier list makes me feel like a real, I don't know, Andy. Something Andy. Like,
yeah. Tierless Andy. I don't know.
Yeah, tierless Andy. I played through all these games.
Yeah.
I almost, like, I'm trying to think here. Like, where do we go from here? What other game is it that I could play that has this kind of tier list format? I have, like, Metaphor. I have, like... I want to play Metaphor soon, around the corner. But
Metaphor
I know
you definitely should play. It's really good.
That's probably going to be the next game I start, like, streaming for real. But it probably won't do a once-a-week thing, that's for sure.
Unless you're doing it on normal mode. If you're doing it on hard mode, give it some, like, good amount of time. Like, especially near the end.
I've heard that the hard mode is like, actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, I had to switch the final boss to normal mode, but I think that was mainly because I was playing it and I was like, it was literally I think 2 in the morning, and I was like, I just want to finish this game. And I think that's kind of. I wish I didn't do that. I think my opinion of the game lowered a little bit because I was trying to rush the ending.
I see. Also, look at Brad coming in chat here. According to this tier list, first game is 58 out of 100. Second game is 47 out of 100. Third game is 72 out of 100.
I don't know where these numbers are coming from.
I think he's like spreading it out. The one thing I would say is that, well, you have to take in it, because this is what I take into account as well, the length of cases. Like 1-5, it's almost like, it's weird how long that case is. I don't understand it. It's like, especially for the first game, no less. Like,
Yeah, I
don't
guess
know.
you do have to keep in mind this is like
I think
the
was it
bonus
just
content
the
for a
trilogy?
remaster.
Was
Yeah, this is like
why you play
them
the game?
having. Yeah, it's like them doing Xenoblade Definitive Edition and having that extra story mode.
Yeah.
It's the reason for newcomers or for series who veterans, I guess, to come back.
That does explain why it's so long. It's like if you're gonna buy the game and you already played it before, you're doing that. It's only number-wise.
Yeah.
All games are top tier. TBH. True. Except the second game.
Yes, me personally, I know on my Ace Attorney video, I did like a tier list of it.
Yeah.
I got some flack for putting the second game so low, but I stand by it, especially after watching you play it.
Yeah. If people be fighting in the comments about the second game, I am putting on my battle armor. I don't know if I'm a second game hater, but like, oh my god, you want to say something? I think I could throw this in here. Isn't it funny we made it to the very end here, and we never even mentioned pearls?
That is true. I mean, we didn't talk about specific characters besides like the main ones a whole lot.
We brought up
yeah,
Maya and Mia, but I feel like Pearls.
Yeah.
Pearls was the almost a pitch of the second game. That's like she's a recurring
she had
character
the
from that point.
uncommon problem a little bit, somewhat,
Yeah.
not as bad.
Pearls to me was like just another little character. Like Pearls is innocent child, and they never.
I think
do
she was
anything
done
weird,
best.
which is good.
She was done best in the third game, the final case, where it was like
Actually,
her her dealing with her mom being in prison, which
I
they
think
should have
that
done in
was,
the
like-
second game.
I feel like that's also the only one of the few. Dude, the third game is like the only game where they actually acknowledge what happened to people afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that was crazy when they're like, what's it called? Mr. Lady was like sent to death row. Pearl is a very core character in the history. She is. It's just like, I'm thinking about it. Like, what am I thinking? I don't know. I'm gonna say this. To me, it was weird, because Pearl... Wow, this is like the perfect music to come on while we're talking about Pearls. But... Pearl served as just... Oh my god, I didn't even mention all the times Mia returned in the second game.
But
Oh my god,
Yeah.
like, how did I forget about that? Pearls was just there to bring back Mia while Maya was gone.
no, don't say that.
That's literally what she is.
Yeah.
And I think the second game too was the first time where remember we had like the kind of, not argument, we were like, I was like, no, people could see when you transform, so they just see Mia, big titty miss, whatever. Anyone notice it? And I'm like, oh.
Speaking of, there's no way the clothes fit her. I mean, they clearly don't, at least in the front.
Well,
There's probably a reason why they don't pan down below.
Oh no!
Butt ass naked.
Phoenix is trying his best not to look over because he knows that this is a child. Oh god.
Oh god. I mean,
Pearls
it's Mia, but
Pearls brings back Mia, but Mia herself doesn't hand us much of a handful help. Oh my god. Was it the second game where I started getting mad about Mia returning?
yeah, I think it was the first game too.
I forgot.
It makes sense. I wish the second game showed her a little less, because I like the curve of her showing up less, as Phoenix kind of doesn't need to rely on her as much. But the second game kind of was like, you know what, we're not gonna do that.
Was it the
He's
final
gonna
case
show up
of
in,
the
every
second
kid.
game that had Mia return and be like, Phoenix?
You can do this.
Wait, I think that literally what I remember. It was the second game, I think, because Phoenix is like at his wit's end, and Mia's like, "Remember, think out of the box." I think.
Oh
that was
yeah.
It was
And
cool.
she also
I'm
does
gonna
some
say.
weird. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my, yeah, they use her to get evidence. Remember, she goes back and forth with Maya.
Uh huh.
Yeah, last
And that
case of
part.
second game.
Cool.
That was cool. That was a cool use of the power. Mia didn't help almost at all. Yeah. I liked it. Dude, the third game's ending where Phoenix and Mia, they do their final objection and Godot's like seeing the after images. That was so cool. That was so cool. Man. Alright, so fellas, you know what? Derailing all of this. Ready for me to play Steins Gate. More visual novel.
Ooh, I've not played Steins Gate.
I love Steins Gate.
I watched the series. I love the TV show. One of my favorites.
The game scares me. The game's genuinely creepy. Because
Oh,
of the
I gotta
fact
play it then.
that in the game, there are multiple endings, and the phone actually influences, like, imagine you're just doing, like, a conversation, and you hear your phone ring, and there is a non-zero chance that if you open that phone, you will see the most evil shit that, like, completely derails your timeline, or it's just a message from your friend. Haha. And Okabe is also, like, terrified every time he opens his phone as well. And experiencing
Is it
that...
Steins Gate or Steins Gate 0?
It's Steins Gate, like the original Steins Gate. I have not...
Okay, I gotta
Steins
play
Gate
that.
0,
I'm adding that to...
I watched, like, a reaction series of Steins Gate 0. I think somehow I consumed old Steins Gate 0. I tried watching it. I hated it. Watching it.
Oh, it's not good.
It's... What would you call it? Steins Gate 0 follows the story of Okabe when he doesn't have the willpower to push through at the end there. And it's just really, really frustrating and sad to watch. Have you seen ReZero?
Yes, some of it.
You know how you get, like, annoyed at Subaru at like when he's being, like, really whiny or something like that? Or, like,
Yeah.
the episode where he's in the Knight's Roundhold and he makes a complete fool of himself, if you know that one?
Yes, I think so.
It's that feeling with Okabe where you're sitting there and he literally, this is the whole drama of the series, where he's constantly beating himself up for essentially being the failure, but, like, not having the willpower to hop in the time machine and do it all over again. So it's just kind of a case where, because of the fact you have knowledge of Steins Gate 0 is just, like, really annoying to watch, because you know he can do that. He's capable of it. You're just watching the guy who failed. And the whole thing is that the guy you're watching in Steins Gate 0, if you remember at the end of Steins Gate, Okabe receives, like, a video transmission from himself in, like, a different timeline, and he's like, "To you, I have found the way to do it," and it was, like, the plan of him faking his own death.
Vaguely. It's been a while since I watched it.
In the end of
Sure.
Steins was to essentially have the event still happen, but convince his past self that he had actually killed her by stabbing himself and letting out all the blood. And because he knows he can't die, because that's how causality works, they were able to, like, find the Steins Gate. That was, like, the whole twist. And the Steins Gate 0 version is, like, the one who figured that out and told the past self to do that. It's weird to say that out of context if you don't remember it, but point being, it's literally, Steins Gate 0 just exists to answer the question to explain who was the Okabe that sent him a future message. Why did it look like he was in a military uniform surrounded by people with guns? And he's like, oh yeah, because he's in the bad timeline when World War III happened, and he had to go back in time 10,000 years, 1,000 seconds a moment, or, like, some crazy stuff. I don't know.
Okay, don't talk about too much, because I wanna play the game now. That sounds really cool.
I would say play the game, but I don't even know the game. I just know it from the anime, and I think it's, like, it's cool. It's like the thing where it's like, if you want more Steins Gate, it's there, but it's not the same. It's like you're chasing a high.
Yeah.
That's how I felt going through it. Regardless,
Nice,
I think I can end the stream here. Thanks to all of y'all who joined in here. The VOD viewers or whatever who watch this can enjoy that final conversation. I'll turn this into a video soon. Maybe it'll be up tomorrow. Depends on how much I work tonight. Regardless, bye everyone. Say bye, Rowan. Say it.
Goodbye. Goodbye, chat.
All right, there you go. Congratulations.
I'm a streamer now.
You're